Hey, my name is Jared Miller, and I'm the ministry lead here at The Creek. In 1982, things were going about as well as they could be expected to be going here in Calgary. The city had recovered from the oil crash of the 70s, the population was absolutely exploding, and the city was expanding in virtually every direction. Where just a generation earlier, Heritage Drive had been the southernmost limit of the city, now there were communities springing up all over the place, and these new suburbs were filled with hope and promise. And into that harvest, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, where I serve, did what churches are supposed to do. It sent workers out. A group of people who lived in Millrise, Midnapore, Shaughnessy, Somerset, began worshiping closer to their homes, and they began inviting their neighbors to worship with them. So much so that by 1987, a fully self-supporting congregation existed south of Fish Creek Park. But flash forward to January 31st, 2011, 24 years later, and for a whole bunch of reasons, Trinity was rolled back into the congregation that planted it. In that amalgamation was the spark of a vision that would not go out. The people wanted to continue growing life together south of Fish Creek Park. In 586 BCE, the greatest army that the world had ever seen crashed through the walls of Jerusalem's supposedly impregnable walls. These walls that had stood for the very protection of Almighty God and the blessings of the same God were trampled, and the people of God were carried off to be exiles in a land they didn't inherit and that they had no claim to. But the memory of God's people is long. As they sat by the rivers, as they sang the songs of a home some of them had never been to, they managed to remember. And when they remembered the promises. They remembered the land, the place, and they remembered those walls. So when it came eventually to pass that those who lived by the sword would die by it, and the armies of Babylon were in their turn defeated by the armies of Persia, exile and exodus were replaced with return and reconstruction, and all of it was led by a guy named Nehemiah. Nehemiah is the story of rebuilding a capacity for ministry in a place where it's not only collapsed, but it has lain dormant for decades. Nehemiah is, yes, a story about walls, but more than that, it's a story about learning how to live into the promise of God. And that's why this story has been so central for us here at The Creek. Really, this is the story of The Creek. So for the next block of weeks, we're actually going to be walking through this story together, looking not just at the touchstones along the way, but looking for practical wisdom that comes from this story, learning how to make difficult decisions, to deal with divisive people, and always persistently and deliberately choosing God. We hope that you'll join us for these videos and all the videos on our channel here at The Creek. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button for us. We're on a push to get 100 subscribers here on the channel, and we appreciate your support. We have some exciting announcements coming down the pipe that we're excited to share with you, and so we hope you'll stay tuned in for those. And for now, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, because we'll talk to you soon. All the best. Cheers.